Scientists and Inventors. I know that there has been a number 3, Black Scientists Inventors 3. And I know that Michael Williams has identified creative aspects of the hip-hop culture and the UK kind of pioneering of the hip-hop and DJ culture. What do you think about his research?
I think it's a good beginning in the context of Black Inventors. Because what I could imagine is that a lot of the inventors that are focused on in the past were probably people that the youngsters couldn't relate to because of the age that they were when they had done these inventions and the time that they had done it. So I think the fact that he's bringing it up to modern times and things that they can relate to within the creative arts, I think that's good that he's focused on hip hop because generally that culture is something that came out of our
So do you think that when you talk about the Black Scientists Inventors and the technologies, and what kind of technologies came out of the hip-hop culture, would you say?
I think most modern digital technology that exists now, from the vinyl emulators to the CD players that they have, a lot of things that are software programs that can do certain things. I think all these things in actuality have been they've been motivated by and their inventions or their commodities have been inspired by the things that we have done in a subverted way. When I say we, I mean DJs or producers that were DJs. I think people like Public Enemy's Bomb Squad or DJ Premier or even things like more African Bambaataa did with Plain Rock. I think the early DJs will be looping things on turntables with records, taking bits of records and looping them. And all these things that we use in a subverted way, because for many reasons can be that at the time that we had to use these pieces of equipment that were just hi-fi, stuff that we had at home for domestic use. That was the only things that we had at our disposal. And I think now the irony is that these things are being sold back to us and it's been told to us this is what you can do with it, when it's kind of ironic that these things are being sold back to us when we actually invented their use in that way in the first place, subverted use.
So do you think it's important that young people know that this culture has been very kind of innovative and very kind of creative?
Definitely, because my personal belief is that a lot of the images that are pushed to the youth are always glorifying the negative aspects of what we do, and I think that we shouldn't assume that things that we have done in the past, even quite recently in the last 20-30 years, like the subvertive use of these things in hip-hop, we shouldn't assume that they are aware of that, because to me it seems apparent that they're not actually that aware. It seems apparent to me that they're not actually that aware of...
So why do you think that they're not aware?
The talk into the auditorium, and that talk is about to begin. The pre-concert talk, Carl Davis, is about to begin in the auditorium. Admission is free. Thank you.
So you were saying that the kind of awareness of young people about how innovative and how creative hip-hop is in the technologies and also obviously in lots of different aspects. So could you tell, say for example, some of the things that come into your head about those things that you would like young people to know, that they don't, openly know?
Yeah, I think everyone's now being forced as DJs. I'm not really going into this environment of a club, which was a thing that didn't really exist even for us. Our way of communicating, whether it was within whatever form of music, as black people, we didn't really communicate to each other within a club environment. But that's very apparent now that is our form of entertainment, where we go into this club atmosphere. Before, we would be doing that in house parties, or we'd rent our own community centres, and that's not that apparent now, and it's not that easy because of, from the poll tax era with Maggie Thatcher, these things have been forced that we can't actually express ourselves in that way. We couldn't even. Today I witnessed in Seven Sisters some Christians ministering with some music, and they were preaching the word of God, but there was a bass line and you could feel the bass and you were like, oh, this sounds really nice, what they're doing. But a policeman came along and said, yeah, your music's too loud, you've got to turn that down. So a lot of things that we took for granted that we had, that was part of our experience or our rites of passage growing up. The younger generation are not aware of that, and I think it's good for them to be reminded or being told that that was part of what got to their music to what it is now, was the fact that a lot of these things were stopped and things have been, for me, misappropriated and taken.